All right, welcome back, students. For this lesson, we are going to be sticking with collage. So, yet again, collage is when you're cutting paper or other things, and then you glue it down to a piece of paper, a piece of board to create your artwork. But this week, we are going to be looking at some paintings from a very famous Russian painter. His name is Kandinsky. And the three paintings I'm going to show you are from his composition series. So these are very fun and exciting abstract paintings. And what I mean by abstract is that they don't necessarily look like anything from real life. A lot of his paintings use shapes, lines, patterns, and colors, and that's it. And he creates his own artworks just using those kinds of elements. And so you also are going to be creating an artwork using those elements today. So what you need for this project is some construction paper and another piece of paper to glue down onto, and obviously some scissors and some glue. So I've got a few different colors here of some scrap construction paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on shapes, lines, and patterns when I create my art. And I'm going to just cut all of those things out from these papers. So you can make all sorts of different shapes, all sorts of different lines, and you can even make patterns making those shapes and lines. Very similarly to the Kandinsky paintings. So I'm going to briefly show you how you can make what we would consider lines cut out of paper. Okay, you can make all sorts of different types of lines. So I've got a black piece of paper here, and I'm just going to cut a very thin strip off of the edge of my paper to create a nice thin line. I can use that anywhere in my collage. Likewise, I can make other things. It doesn't just have to be straight lines. I can make curvy lines, wavy lines, lots of different types of lines, okay? And I do that by cutting my curved shape first. Then I go back and I cut a thin strip right alongside of it. Now this takes a little bit of practice. So as you're doing this, don't beat yourself up if you get it wrong. And I can even make my line go from very thin to very large. Okay, so that's another different type of line. I cut this piece off. I can also make a line with this, and it's going to be similar to that first line. Okay, so I'm going to finish that one as well. Okay, and so there's a few different types of lines that I can cut. I can do zigzags, I can do all sorts of stuff. I'm going to cut another long strip so that I have some thin lines to use for this project. I'm going to cut two more actually. Okay, so now I've got a whole bunch of lines cut. Well, what about shapes? Shapes can be anything. I'm going to use some triangles. So I'm going to cut some small ones and some medium-sized ones, and maybe even a large one for my paper to use in my art. Okay, and they're all this same purple color. So I'm creating some kind of a pattern, really. Three triangles that reduce in size, but they're all the same color. And so I cut those out, and I can put them anywhere and glue them down. Okay. Likewise, you want to use different colors in this. The Kandinsky paintings are super colorful and super interesting. And so you can even create background colors. So I can just cut part of this, and I'm going to cut it into a large triangle shape, and it's going to become like a background color. So I just have to see how large this is. My paper's it's a little bit bigger. That's okay. I'm going to cut a really big triangle out of this. and it's going to become like a background color. Okay. And so what I would do is I would slip this here in the corner, and then I could actually glue that down first, and then glue and layer on top of it. So I'm going to stop talking at this point. I'm just going to play the video, and you can watch me create and add things and finish up my work of art. All right, boys and girls, so we're going to stop there. I layered a whole bunch of shapes. I used a whole bunch of different triangles because I chose that to be my shape. And I added a whole bunch of different lines. You, of course, can do this in any way you want. You can use any of the examples from the paintings that you see, maybe some shapes that you really like and are interesting to you. Maybe you don't want your shapes to be normal. You can make yours organic shapes, which kind of sometimes look like blobs, but you can see in Kandinsky's work he used some of those as well. So I hope you have fun with this. Have a good time, and I hope to see some really fun and exciting artworks. We will talk to you soon.